What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show. And today's show is my film breakdown of TJ Hockenson, the tight end out of Iowa that the people want the Redskins to select as their number one overall pick in number 15. Now, I will say this. I went over a lot of film of him just to see if there were more things that stood out about this guy, that was amazing about this guy, that, you know, could somehow entice me to think that this guy would be worthy of our number 15 pick. And on today's show, I'm only going to show you one film because to me, practically all the film looks the same. You know, he's a phenomenal blocker. I mean, it's no doubt about that. He does run crisp routes, but he doesn't get himself as open as you would probably want him to get open. And with this guy, I can't really tell if it's because of the offense that he was in or if they felt that his talent was better as a blocker or what it is. But to me, I think that, you know, as I'm looking at, you know, as I looked at all his film, it was one of those things where I was kind of lost on what he would really be. Now, he does have the Chris Cooley type of ability where he can block and he can catch. I don't think he's as fast as Chris Cooley, but he does seem like he could probably be as good as Chris Cooley. But just for a lot of people to understand, you know, even when it came to Chris Cooley, we kind of selected him, I think, in the 3rd round or something like that. So, you know, to make TJ Hockenson a number 1 overall pick, even though I understand, you know, a lot of people will feel that you just said Chris Cooley and he was phenomenal. Yes. But again, you also have to understand that Chris Cooley also had to develop a little bit as well, you know, and like I said, looking at this guy's film, it's just a lot of everything about him screams that he's a great blocker. I mean, don't get me wrong. Blocking wise, this guy's phenomenal. He does have little bits and problems and issues with some of the faster pass rushers, but he seems to be a very, very phenomenal blocker all through the whole film. So I don't know how to really judge this guy because, again, like I said, if we were a team that only needed a tight end that could, like, and you got to understand, we have to find a way to replace Jordan Reed because we know for a fact that by June, if he doesn't get released by June 1st, next year, Jordan Reed will not be with us if he has the same production he had the year before. So we understand that. So with that being said, I can't see us drafting this guy at number 15 overall. Maybe we can draft him in the 2nd round if he's still available. But to be honest, it's kind of hard for me because I just don't see him as a serious passing threat at this point because I mean, especially on our particular team. Like, I'm focusing my conversation about this guy on the Redskins. We do need a guy who can run, who can block, who can do a lot of things, but I just don't see it right now, you know. And like I said, I looked at a lot of his film, and to me, it just doesn't say anything about him that is like phenomenal. You know, to be honest, even in a lot of his film, Mississippi State, this is the film I'm currently showing you, is not a good example, but there's a lot of his other film in which his teammate Noah Fant stands out more, who I personally like a lot better, to be honest. I would rather take Noah Fant at the number 15 pick if we were going to take a tight end than to take TJ Hockenson, because again, with Noah Fant, He just needs he just needs to learn more technique when it comes to blocking. But you talking about a guy who can separate, who can get open, who runs great routes and everything like that, catches almost everything, and seems to be a very serious threat when it comes to receiving the ball. But TJ Hockenson, he doesn't have that same potential that I see at this current point. Like I said, you could tell that he's more polished as a blocker. Like, he's definitely polished as a blocker. So he can give you that Chris Cooley blocking skill that, you know, we've been looking at for so long and been excited about. But I have to say, I just don't see us taking this guy at 15 because, again, to me, he just get lost in a lot of game tape because he's blocking so much. And like I said, again, when he catches the ball, he does a phenomenal job catching the ball because, I mean, it's not a lot of guys who you can sit up there and say, you know, catches almost everything within their radius, but he does do a phenomenal job of catching the football. But again, I just don't see it in his tape. I don't see anything in his tape that warrants him being the number 15 overall pick. To be quite honest, and as I'm looking at, you know, as I was looking at the game film, especially the game film that I'm currently showing you, to be honest, the guy that stands out to me, even in this game film, which is Hockenson's film, the guy that stands out more to me is Jonathan Abram, the safety from Mississippi State. Now, I know we signed Landon Collins and everything like that, but to be quite honest, I mean, I wouldn't mind taking this guy Jonathan Abram at 15 because I'm looking at like I said, I'm looking at TJ Hockenson's game tape, which is currently being shown, what I'm showing to you right now. And to be honest, this guy is extremely disruptive. I seen him play, but I didn't realize how disruptive this guy really was. And I mean, he seems like you would want him to be that perfect complement to a Landon Collins. Like, if you want Landon Collins to kind of get away from, I mean, if you want Landon Collins to get kind of away from having to guard tight ends and things like that, I'm kind of feeling that this guy Jonathan Abram may be the guy. But back to TJ Hockenson, I don't want to spend too much time on another player on Hockenson film, but again, Jonathan Abram showed up in this film. But again, like I said, you know, I like TJ Hockenson, but I personally think that he's not the guy we should take at number 15 overall. Like I said, I think his teammate Noah Fant stands out a little bit more, especially with the current situation of us not really knowing about what we're going to do with Jordan Reed and if that's valuable. So like, subscribe, comment. You tell me if y'all think TJ Hockenson may fit our offense or may not. Other than that, this is your man, John Fortune, and this has been the Frustrated Fan Sports Show.